She was face down in a watery ditch, shot in the back of the head.
Criminals that get away with a crime for 40 plus years, they're able to hide the fact that they are this monster.
The remains of a young girl were found.
Nobody knew who she was. Nobody came forward to claim her body.
So many people came by to see if that was their missing daughter.
It had been 40 years by the time we got the case. That's almost hopeless.
The efforts to build the STR profile were successful, but there was no match when that STR profile was uploaded to CODIS.
It was one of those cases that everyone thought couldn't be solved.
With the forensic DNA technology that we have now, you no longer have to rely on a chance match in a database. You don't have to rely on a lead, an anonymous tip coming in.
When you're investigating and you don't choose to put DNA in the forefront of an investigation and you choose to go by eyewitness statements, they're often unreliable. Like in the case of Sherry Jo Elliott.
One of those tips was someone saw her get into a yellow Camaro. Took days and days and days, months to run down those, and unfortunately came up with nothing.
The person telling the police that he seen her getting in a yellow Camaro, he was lying through his teeth. And why he did that, I don't know, because he had a daughter too.
For the first time ever, you can work these cases immediately. DNA can lead the investigation, you can read the genetic information, and from there directly determine who left the DNA at the crime scene. And that's not just important for families that are grieving and hurting, it's important for anyone else that might be wrongfully accused of the crime.
The investigators at the time felt that Sherry Jo's stepfather was a good suspect.
I can't imagine losing my only child and the person that I loved most in the world being accused of the crime. It goes to show you again that bringing certainty to these investigations as quickly as possible is necessary for people to move forward with their lives.
There are a few ways that you can get involved if you want to help work one of these cases. One of the most important things you can do is to raise awareness for the case. In fact, in the Carla Walker case, it was an old case, 1974.
Homicide detective said, "We believe we found Carla's body. She's deceased."
She did have torn clothing, which was indicative of sexual assault. She also had some bruising and scratches.
Rodney, the boyfriend, obviously going to be pursued pretty hard by law enforcement.
What kept investigators going was the heroic efforts of her brother, who for 47 years would not let the topic go.
Carla's brother, Jim Walker, he said, "Hey, listen, I'm frustrated. It's been a very long time and my parents have passed, some of my siblings have passed. We really want to know what happened to Carla."
Jim Walker continuously pushed in the media, to law enforcement, the visibility of this case. And then the subsequent coverage of this case by podcasts, by mainstream media, so that people knew this case existed, knew that there was evidence, and eventually built up the pressure to make sure this case was solved.
I remember thinking, not only are we providing justice for Carla Walker's killer, but we are freeing Rodney from a lifetime of suspicion, and I can't imagine what that's been like for him.
It was just a real miracle, and thank God for the DNA testing.
One really important way that you can help as a member of the public, even if you're not in law enforcement, is to simply shine a light on a case that hasn't been solved yet. And the same is true for human remains.
Police were called to a local hotel regarding a young female that had been found in a swimming pool.
Her body was left there unidentified for over 50 years.
It's shocking to me that in today's day and age, that they would be human remains that are not identified. Most of them can be identified directly from DNA analysis.
Once Pecos Jane had been identified as Jolene Hemme, her family gave her a new burial, and they give her a new headstone, this one with her real name.
I think it's really important to remember that each one of these cases is not just a case, it's not a case number, and it's not a set of remains, it's a person. And so it's important that we raise awareness for this. We need to be aware, the public needs to be aware, legislators need to be aware so they can advocate for legislation like the Carla Walker Act.
The Carla Walker Act, it is a pilot program to fund forensic genetic genealogy for the very first time.
The second way that you can help work a case is through helping support cases that that lack funding, like in the Pecos Jane Doe case.
We tried to look for funding to see what we would be able to do to fund a project for genetic identification. And the city was gracious enough to provide some of the funding, although we didn't have excess funding where we could just do this.
David and Michael implemented a crowdfunding system that Othram developed. It was very innovative at the time.
In less than a week, we were able to fund the testing.
Back in 1966, all these people in the community came together and rallied around this young girl. No one knew who she was, but they all cared.
The Pecos Funeral Home receives a number of letters from people all over the country asking if this could be their missing relative.
1,500 to 2,000 people went to the funeral home to view this young lady.
One of the families that came down, even after finding out it was not their daughter, raised the funding and supported a proper burial.
All the people in this town were very generous. They donated money and flowers. They donated a dress, and the funeral home donated that casket.
There was about 50 people who turned out to attend her funeral. They wanted to show that there were people who cared about her.
This is something that is just really wonderful, and it's not uncommon. In the Walker County Jane Doe case, a similar thing happened. A girl is found murdered off of the highway. This was in 1980 in Walker County, Texas, and the community rallies again to ensure that she can have a proper burial until she can be identified and reunited with family.
Once you know who your victim is, once you can piece together the end of their life, law enforcement's really good at figuring out who did it.
The last way that you can get involved is if you've taken a consumer test and you have a DNA profile, then you can contribute your profile to help us solve the next case, whether it's identifying human remains, whether it's exonerating someone, or whether it's identifying someone that's committed a violent crime. When you test with one of these consumer companies, you can download your raw data, as they call it, and this is a computer file that consists of the DNA markers that comprise your DNA profile. And this profile could be one of many profiles that end up assisting law enforcement in a search.
When we talked with her, sweet old lady, we did ask for a DNA sample, which she provided. She called her son over. He provided a voluntary sample too.
And the way it works is you can take this DNA profile, you can upload it to a participating database that enables you to consent for a law enforcement search. Now, your actual DNA profile and the DNA information within it is not transferred to law enforcement, but what will be transferred is your identity and the fact that you share a certain genetic relationship. In the case of Sherry Jo Elliott, we narrow to a candidate that makes sense to us based on the genealogical and genetic analysis and makes sense based on the investigative analysis.
The forensic genetic genealogy led to Ronnie Collins as the possible perpetrator.
So your participation and your opt-in into the database enables law enforcement to determine how closely related you and any number of other people that have consented are to an unknown profile. And it's the combination of many distant relationships that allow investigators or genetic genealogists at Othram to then piece together family trees and determine how you are related to an unknown person, and then in aggregate who that unknown person is based on the many relationships they have to people that are in the database. In total, whether you choose to opt in to a genetic database because you've already done a consumer test, whether you choose to help contribute funding towards a case that is unsolved but lacks the necessary funding to generate the leads necessary to solve it, and whether you just want to help amplify and shine a light on some of these cases that have not gotten the visibility that they need.
With the stuff that they're doing in their technology with DNA and so forth, we'll be one of the last of the few that has to wait 43 years.
In any of these ways that you assist, you can help drive more cases from unsolved to solved.